Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Messages. And today is going to be relatively light. I think this will be a quick episode, and we will carry on with the week. So let's see. What do I have to share with you right now? All right, there is a bundle that I am dropping for the month of October and November. And it includes Money Magic, Dom, and Fabric of the Universe. I'm calling it the best bundle ever because, in my opinion, I feel like if you have these three things, you will be absolutely unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. Like, these are the three things. You've got money, you've got the quantum field, you've got your emotional body as it relates to the quantum field. That's Fabric of the Universe. And then you've got Dom, which is about dominating the universe, dominating the world submits to you. That's the vibe of Dom. And I feel like these are the three, like if there were three essential programs that I would want everyone to take, these are the three. So I decided to package them up into a neat little package and create a bundle for you. And I also want to mention that I have a rolling mastermind that's Voxer only that starts in November. So that one is going to be called The Nightery. And my idea behind this, or how this even came to be, was I have had client after client after client after client after client tell me that they feel as though it's a very minimal space where they can actually talk about creation, where they can talk about energetics, where they can talk about manifestations and, everything that they have going on energetically and in their life. And when they get into a mastermind with me, they're like, I love being able to talk about this here. And so aside from the work that we're doing together, it's also like just being able to express your creations to others is really, really warm and fuzzy, right? So I decided to create a container for that. And the other cool thing about it is there are no commitments. There's no long-term commitment to the mastermind. There's no call times. There's nothing that is binding you in terms of time. So this is great for Australians. I have a lot of Australian followers. If you've been wanting to work with me and there's like a wicked time zone difference, this is the mastermind for you. It's the Nightery. And my idea, or actually how the name came to be, was I was thinking of a speakeasy. I was like, it has like this speakeasy energy where people can like seek refuge from the Muggle world, and they can talk about all of these like whimsical things that Muggles don't get, like talking about manifestation and creation. Yes, it is common, but in terms of who you can actually have real conversations with, finding a group of people who are all doing the same thing in terms of creating their reality, designing their life, aiming at really unrealistic things, having a group of people where you can be real about that is kind of rare. And so I decided that it was going to be like a speakeasy vibe for the modern creators of the world. And so this is going to be an ongoing mastermind. So everything it's going to open up on the 1st of every month, right? So depending on when it's full, if it's going to be higher capacity, Voxer only, no calls. It's all contained within Voxer. It's completely off of social media, which makes it really nice. And it's in the price point that has been most requested by people. So if you're interested in that, it is higher capacity, but of course there are minimal seats. There is a limit. And so that is going to be application only. Check it out. The link will be in the description box or the show notes. And I'm very excited because we all know I freaking love being in Voxer. It is my favorite thing. Okay. Is that everything? I think so. I think that's everything. Let's get into the prayer, collective prayer. Take a few deep breaths. Let me tune in to what everyone is needing in this moment. I am in full agreement for right timing. I'm in full agreement for everyone to start tapping into the full picture of whatever it is that might be going on in your life in this moment. I'm in full agreement for things to make sense and for things to add up for you. I'm in full agreement for you to be surrounded by people who get you. So for the feelings of being understood, the feelings of being witnessed, the feelings of being seen to flood over your body and for your cells to soak up these positive reflections that you have coming into your life. I'm in full agreement for the punctuality of the universe to make itself really, really clear. I'm in full agreement for everything to be right on time, as it always is, and for you to harmonize with the universe in a way that really solidifies that knowing within yourself. I'm in full agreement for you to allow the goodness that is divinely supplied and meant for you. I'm in full agreement for you to receive this fully. I'm in full agreement for you to keep your valves open as you expand into receiving more, and for you to let the receptivity be the new normal for you. Full agreement for that. Full agreement for you to know that good things are how the universe was designed to be. That letting in the desires and the aspects of the universe that you desire to experience for yourself is normal and that is meant for you. Full agreement for you to feel as the things that you desire are yours. They are uniquely yours. They are meant for you. They were given to you for a reason. That you have been coming to these conclusions deliberately and intentionally and on purpose. That all of your desires are a reflection of the experience that you've had on earth, and that is worthy of fulfilling in this lifetime. Full agreement for all of that. Full agreement for fun, joy, and pleasure along the way. And full agreement for you all to aim bigger. Aim higher. Stretch yourself just a little. Make your belief more potent just a little bit more. And for you to feel amazing as you stretch into this highest expression of yourself, this boldest expression of yourself. Full agreement. Hallelujah. Amen. Okay. Let me bring up my email. Once again, if you have a testimonial, if you have a question, if you've got a prayer request, if you want me to analyze something, if it's just a general question, submit all of these things to the podcast and I will be reading them on the next episode or whenever you submit them. Okay, this is from Natalie. And it says, I wanted to let you know how inspired I have been around your discussion of a consumption fast. I have started a consumption fast, day 5, with a focus on silencing my critical self-talk and stop triggering myself. It was only since engaging in the fast that I was able to realize how dysregulated my nervous system is and how uncomfortable I am when relaxed and calm. The first 3 days I was very bored, but was dwelling in green. That's a Fabric of the Universe reference. This morning, for the first time ever, I did yoga and actually got it as a practice rather than a physical pose. I think now on day 5, I'm dwelling in teal. I'm also becoming much more aware of what media triggers me and can actively choose whether to engage with it, period. I'm so fulfilled with love and gratitude for you inspiring this change. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, if you're on my Instagram, you know I will not shut up about the consumption fast. I feel like it is one of those things that more people are going to prioritize over time. And man, it gives you a real look at what is going on, what is really going on under the hood. Because it's difficult to see, how anxious am I really? What is the baseline of my nervous system? Well, I don't know, because social media is adding so many context shifts. Unless you have your social media so curated to only be the exact way you want it to be, and even then, there's risk in doing that. Even if you only follow quote unquote positive people, it's like there's still a risk because you don't have control over what other people are posting and what other people are sharing. And so it's a lot of stimulation, it's a lot of information, it's a lot of stuff coming into your field. And so what I found after doing extended fasts with Apex, and this is really where the discussion of a consumption fast really comes into play, is that you don't know what's going on fully. Until you stop consuming, you're not seeing your true baseline. And man, it is illuminating, because once you get that contrast of consuming and being on a consumption fast, then you're able to see just how dysregulated you become when you are consuming. And when you start to bring social media into the mix, or like even watching a TV show or listening to a particular kind of podcast or reading a book. There are some books, I read a really dark book recently, and it's like I had nightmares. Like it obviously jacked up my frequency because of the subject matter that was in the book. And so this is the type of stuff where you can't fully see like how sensitive you really are until you fast. And so I'm so excited. I've been getting tons of messages on Instagram from people talking about like, I'm really interested in doing a consumption fast. And it's funny because I wouldn't think that people would be like, yeah, let's stop consuming. I'm going to be bored out of my mind. That's going to be fun. But it is interesting to see what happens. Like what happens if social media is no longer an option. And I was talking about this yesterday. If social media or movies or comfort shows or binging a podcast, if you took all that away, if you took online shopping away, like if you really minimized your consumption, what would happen? Like where would you be called? What would your soul nudge you to do? Where would you put more of your time and your energy and your resources? How would you be spending your time and energy? And so when you think about it as spending, I'm spending it, I'm putting this energy into something, it really reveals a lot. And so I'm just very excited every time someone is interested in a consumption fast. And I feel like this round more than ever, and it may have been because I documented the first round of Apex. So people were able to see like the full 61 days that I was in Apex, like what happened. And I documented my entire journey through it. And so I feel like this round, as I've been talking about Apex and focusing on Apex, people have been more interested than ever in the consumption fast and everything going on with it. And I think it is the most underutilized tool ever. I think it is way, way, way underrated. And it's just a trip. Like you have to try it. You have to try it. Like even 5 days, you'll see a difference in 5 days for sure. Now, once you initially get past that, feeling tugged to consume, once you get past that, a whole bunch of stuff starts opening up, and it really does change what's going on chemically in the brain. It changes what's happening with your dopamine. It changes what your experience of motivation is very, very different when you are not consuming. When you're in a fasted state, what we feel as motivation completely changes because the level of dopamine goes way, way, way up. So I could go on and on. You guys know I talk about this a lot. I've done so many podcasts on consumption fasting and talking about consumption and all of the things. And I think that as we have more and more and more and more and more information in the forms of, yes, books, TV, podcasts, watching or listening to this right now, it's like, where and when are we going to get back into a place of not having that interference and feeling that sometimes? I love consuming too. It's not like you should abandon consuming for the rest of your life. Like, of course, I don't feel that way. I would not want to sustain Apex all year because I wouldn't have an appreciation for when I am listening to podcasts that I love, or when I am watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's my current comfort show. But like, I wouldn't have a full appreciation for those things if I was just constantly consuming. And I never felt into both sides. And so it's not about abandoning it forever or like protesting TV for a decade. It's not like that. It's just feeling the core essence of yourself not interfered by other things that are in your energetic field in the form of information. And that's something we don't often have the opportunity to feel at this point. And it is a soul expanding, life-changing experience. That's all I'm going to say. I'm really doing a great sales job of convincing people to go on a consumption fast, but it's awesome. It's freaking awesome. Like that testimonial, like there's something that changes when you experience it. So anyway, also, the next round of Apex is going to be in May. I will be opening things up again. I've decided to keep enrollment open during the year if you want an extended payment plan and things like that for the upcoming round. And so I don't think I'm ever going to close it, if that makes sense. It's just I'm going to open and close payment plan options more so for the upcoming rounds. So anyway, that's my plan moving forward. The next round will start May 1st and it goes from May to June. Now let's pull some tarot. Let's see what's going on. Two of Cups again? Okay, interesting. We got this last week. Six of Wands. I like this, friends. I like this already. And then okay, I knew the Three of Swords was going to come up. I saw it first and then, of course, I pulled it. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, the interesting thing about this, because it's a very clear storyline, it's like the only problem that you have is that you're entertaining thought forms and ideas that feel crappy. So this is like, let me tell you the story. There's this thing that you deeply desire. There's this thing that you want. There's this job or this lover or this money or this experience or this level of well-being that you desire for yourself. And you're feeling so optimistic about it. You're like, yes, I get to have that. I know in my soul that this is something I desire for myself. This is what I want. This is who I am. I know this is available to me. Yes, yes, yes. victory, victory, victory on all fronts, right? So this is like straight up optimism and knowing within yourself. And then, but what if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't happen? What if I don't get to have that thing? What if? This is like you tormenting yourself with what if games that hurt your own feelings. Do you ever think about that? Like half of the time, or I would say the majority of the time, what's actually going on is anticipation of bad things is what's harming you. And so the Three of Swords is ironically like a mental card because it's swords, it's airy. And the way I see this is it's not about release. The 10 of Swords is about release. The 3 of Swords is about pain. So this is your own torment, your mental agony that you put yourself through, or entertaining negative things. This can be any type of negative storytelling that you have going on, okay? That's what this is pointing to. It's you've actually got it. You've actually got it. You know what to do. You're creating. Remember, I backed away from tarot because people were using it as a way to block their own creations. So they were saying, no, the cards are right. My personal creation doesn't matter. And that's not, I don't play that game. That's not what we're doing here. You are in charge. You are in charge. This is your creation. You are making things happen in your own life. You are a powerful creator. Got it? That's how this whole thing works. So these cards are coming up like, yes, move in the direction of it. Move in that direction. Believe it. Focus on it. It's safe for you to desire it, right? All of those things. Yes, yes, yes. True, true, true. And then the thought forms that are annoying or make you feel sad or whatever, that's the piece that you want to cut out. So I want you to ask yourself, this week, this would be a great question to keep in mind. In this moment, did something bad actually happen right now? Is something bad happening right now, or am I anticipating it? Or are you drudging things up from the past and in anticipation of that being recreated? You get what I'm saying? Those are usually the ways that we're torturing ourselves, is we think that the past is going to repeat, or we're anticipating something bad in the future. It's like two different flavors of the same thing. And ultimately, it's I'm tormenting myself now by not shifting into something else. Now, of course, the exception to this would be like, if there was something really acute that you are tending to right now, okay, then do that. Then lick your wounds, tend to yourself, be good to yourself, nurture yourself. But for the vast majority of people listening to this, it's not this actual thing that is damaging to your life. That's actually not happening. It is you're thinking things that are hurting your own feelings. You are thinking thoughts and feeling feelings that are bad, and you're scaring yourself, and you're like entertaining this idea of not getting what you want. And it's screwing with your head, and it's making you feel bad, and it's slowing you down. You're not going to manifest anything bad. Don't think about it like that. You're just going slower than you could. If you stayed in a state and in an emotional frequency that had more levity to it, you would go a lot faster. And so the only risk going on here is that you go slower, right? But understand, if you're thinking bad thoughts, or this is something that I do to hurt my own feelings, I will like go into a mental dialogue about something and just feel like tortured and sad, and how I'm unwanted and unloved, and I'll like tell myself these horrible stories, and I'll feel bad, and I'll like cry about it. I'm dead serious. So it's like I'm doing that to myself. No one's doing that to me. No one's like standing in the room feeding me these thoughts. I'm feeding myself these thoughts. How screwed up is that, right? And so I know that a lot of people do this. This isn't just me. I'm not the only one. So it's like, are you doing that? Are you doing that to yourself? Because if so, that's your work. Then the work is stopping it early. Don't entertain the telenovelas and don't entertain the dramas. Don't do that to yourself. Get your mind and your emotions right as much as humanly possible. And there's a whole spectrum. It's all relative depending on where you are in this moment, what's been going on, what is your normal baseline. And so you just want to feel into what's next, what feels better, what's next. So allow yourself some optimism. Allow yourself to know that things get to be different and that things can change dramatically and they can change really quickly, but you've got to know that first. You can't constantly shield yourself, guard yourself, anticipate the worst, and expect things to go well. Those are conflicting practices. So get on board with optimism. Hop aboard the optimism train. It will change your life. Even just a high dose of optimism. Or you could say like 1%, but let's go bigger. Let's go bigger into try on the optimism shoes. Jump aboard the optimism train. Try it out. Just try it out. Try being irrationally optimistic for a while. Like, you know what? It doesn't make any sense, but I 100% think that this is going to go my way. And see what happens when it's got to be genuine. It's got to be genuine. Like, I am feeling into this being true. I'm feeling into this and see how it goes. So this week is very much about optimism. The other message that I'm getting is that you guys are so much closer than you think. That's the other piece is the mind perceives things as being far. Like, oh, it's going to take so long, or, oh, I'm going to have to do this and do that, and it's going to take time for this to accumulate. You're underestimating divine powers that be. You're really underestimating what the universe can do for you. Stop it. It's like, would you really underestimate God? Like what God is capable of doing? And so every time you cut yourself down or you anticipate something being slow, that's like saying God doesn't have the ability to just like snap his fingers and make things poof into reality. And that's kind of how you want to get into this spirit of knowing that that's how it gets to be. And a lot of the time, that's how manifestations feel. That's how creations feel, is that poof, just all of a sudden, this is how it gets to be. So start playing with these ideas and play with these practices and see how it goes. The mental torment that you have going on here is not legit. It's like the stories, it's the protecting your heart, it's the guarding yourself, it's contracting, it's fearing the past repeating, it's the negative anticipation of the future. It's that stuff. And that's what's causing the pain. There's nothing to be released. I don't know why I'm doing air quotes like this. Let me do it again. There's nothing that you're like letting go of. That's just not the vibe this week. It's get your mind right. That's what's happening this week. All right, friends, that is all that I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed. If you are interested in anything that I mentioned, check out the links in the description box or the show notes. Right, we've got the nightery, the top secret nightery that we have going on, if that's your speed, if that's something you're interested in. And then I have the bundle that's going to be going on for the next couple of months. So I hope you enjoy. Have a fabulous week. I love you all. I will see you next time. Have a good one.